It's the Man Space Podcast. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you, Voice Girl. And welcome once again to another edition of the Man Space Podcast. This is the voice of Russ, and with me as always, he is the one, the only, Big Les.
What up, what up, what up? How you doing, brother?
Man? I'm good, man.
Good. Yeah, look, we talking at the same time.
I know,
it's all
right?
Good.
We've been around each other too long.
I think so. I think that's what it is. Just ready to answer for each other, but it's all good.
So, speaking of answering for each other.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
So yesterday, my wife got invited to an event that I didn't want to be a part of. It was one of those things where it's her thing becomes a we thing.
Oh, always.
Yeah. So, you know, my things never become her things, but her things always become my things. So I reluctantly went, but I didn't want to go, right? Because I knew.
You had to drive Miss Daisy, right?
Yes, I had to drive Miss Daisy.
I
but
knew
the only thing that made this worth it, I knew that there was this cookie place that was on the other side of town. It's like 30 miles from my house. So I knew it was food. I knew it was in the area. Yeah. Have you heard of crumble cookies? Man, I just heard about them the other day. Yeah. Oh my God.
Don't do it to me, man. See, this is why I don't mess with you like that, man. why do you keep doing this to me?
So it's this guy I follow, Alonzo Larone, right? Yeah. And he does all these little videos about eating different food combinations. And he did a couple videos on crumble cookies. And I showed them to my wife, and she's like, well, where are they at? And I'm like, oh, you know, I think there's one in Charlotte. There's one in Columbia, blah, 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 right? Yeah. Well, the one that was closest to me is like 30 miles away. Mm-hmm. But this event was like maybe about 15 minutes from where we were going to. Okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to go reluctantly, but I know I'm going to get these cookies in return, right? I'm going to be in the area. I'm going to get these cookies. So I'm excited, right?
Right.
I'm sitting there and I done gone through the list and I done got the app downloaded on my phone and I done ordered the cookies and everything, you know, so I'm excited. We jump in the car after we finish the event. I don't even tell my wife where we're going. I sat there and I punched it in the GPS and I'm riding. And the whole way, I could just smell cookies in the car. We ain't even got them yet, but I could smell it. It was just, I was like, oh my gosh, where's that smell coming from? I'm like looking in the back seat. Did somebody put something back there? Just was like, then it's like the closer we got, my mouth started watering. I've never had these cookies. I've only seen them online.
Did you have to get a napkin and pat it dry before you got
No, I was good, right? So we get there, and we pull up, and my wife, you know, starts scanning around. It's like, where are we? Right? We've never been over here before. This is new. What are we doing? Then she sees it. Crumble cookies. She starts dancing in the parking lot.
Oh no. Oh no.
I was like, babe, I've already ordered. Don't worry. I'm just going to run in and pick them up. Yeah. She's like, no, I want to go in and see anyway.
Yep.
So we go in. It's this place. This is the cookie version of Chick-fil-A, dude. I mean, it's everywhere. It stays packed, right? Yeah. So it's like you go in the app and you order. As soon as you pull up, you just tap the app and say, I'm here. They start boxing your stuff up as soon as you say that you're there.
Wait, so you ordered that many cookies? They had to put them in a box? Oh, they're huge cookies.
They're huge cookies.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're huge cookies. So, and they change the flavors every single week. So you can go every week and get something different.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So we go in there and I said, those are the cookies right there. Those are the different flavors they got this week, right? So my wife goes up and she's looking at them. And she's like, you ordered all of these flavors, right? It had 6 different flavors. I said, I ordered 5 because the 6th one I couldn't get. The lady said, I like 2 of those, of the 6th one, right? So she done ordered 2 more, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, we still haven't even tried them yet.
Y'all killing me, both of y'all. Y'all killing me.
We in the car riding back. Now, again, I told you, it's 30 miles.
Yeah.
30 miles. So we riding. Now the smell is really wafting in the car. Now, I was imagining it before, but now it's really in there. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have to get into these cookies, right?
Don't sound too much like a crackhead, please. Please don't sound too much like a crackhead. Okay.
Dog, I bit into this one, and it was their New York cheesecake cookie. It's
Oh
like
my God.
the cookie is like it's so big around, and it's got cheesecake all on the top, and then it's got the graham cracker crust from the cheesecake bottom sprinkled across the top of it. Oh my God.
Now I sound like the crackhead because I'm like, oh, tell me more, George. Tell me more.
I will tell you.
What else?
Because you're a diabetic, I will tell you to stay away from that one because I got an instant headache of that much of a sugar rush off of it.
I got my pills and I'll take like 3 days off of carbs and everything. No sugar for 3 days just to get one bite.
Oh, man.
No, I ain't doing it. That's why I won't go.
Man.
I know me. I'm going to eat a cookie.
You can't get through whole one. There's no way you can get through a whole one.
Man, please.
So
I'll smash one. That's why I got diabetes.
So my homeboy, yesterday was his birthday, and we were going to meet him out for dinner, you know, and so we decided, well, we're going to bring him 4, right? He got on a shirt that just says cookies across the front of his shirt.
Oh, yeah, but those ain't the cookies he's talking about, though.
Right. It definitely wasn't. But he sat there and looked at him.
Work with it. Yeah.
He sat there and looked at him. We was like, oh my. He's like, where'd you get these from? We told him. He's like, I've never been there before. So the whole time, he's like guarding the box. Like it's it's gold from Fort Knox. Like we're sitting at the restaurant. These cookies are sitting in his lap the whole time. Yeah. Like his family like, ooh, can I have that one? No, they're from me. It's my birthday.
Yeah, see, I'm glad we friends, but I'm glad you don't bring me up for my birthday because you would give me crap. That's what you would do. You would do that just to see my reaction. That I'm gonna smell these cookies and I'm gonna devour them.
Man, it's worth it.
You already know. See,
it's worth it.
Is it really?
It is. It absolutely is.
I'll go smell the parking lot.
I know
where it is.
I don't tout stuff. We usually sit there.
Yes, you do.
I mean, on occasion, a fluffer nutter or something like that. But I don't sit there and give like names of restaurants and stuff like that. If the service is bad, we'll throw them out there. But we usually because they don't sponsor us. But this one, everybody needs to go to get crumble cookies, man.
I'm just gonna make a T-shirt to say cookies. Give me the cookies. And I'm going to stand in their parking lot. Let me see what happens.
Oh, man. But Manspace Nation, we have a guest joining us today. And I'm sure he's tired of sitting here listening to us talk about food. But, Manspace Nation, we always say.
This it ain't a good show unless we're talking about food.
There we go. That's so we had to get it out the way real quick. But Manspace Nation, today we got a special guest joining this show. He is the host of Think About It with Jayden Miller. Now, he is currently an assistant principal at a junior high school, formerly a teacher at multiple levels, ranging from kindergarten all the way through college. Now, Les, this is something that you and Jayden both have in common, that you're both professional photographers.
Hey, man, I'm sure this guy, Jayden, is like killing me.
Now, if that isn't enough, right? That's enough for most people already. But he's a retired law enforcement officer and a former police chief.
Look at that. Hey, wait. And he's from the Midwest.
On top of all that.
On top of all of that, man. We used to shovel snow at the same time, brother. We used to shovel snow at the same time.
Same time. Manspace Nation, I know you're scratching your heads. You're like, Jayden Miller. Like, I've heard that name before. Well, for those that have been under a rock and not quite sure what you've heard, check this out, and then we'll be right back.
Russ.
Yo, sorry, Les. I had on my earbuds, man. What's up?
What are you listening to?
Man, it's this great podcast I found called Think About It with Jayden Miller.
Think About It with Jayden Miller. What's it about?
It's thought-provoking conversation where Jayden gives his opinion on all the biggest news stories in entertainment, world events, and more. It's done in a real, no-nonsense way.
Okay. Interesting. Where can I listen to it at?
You can listen to it on all major platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and even his website, jaydenmiller.com.
Think About It with Jayden Miller. I got to check him out.
Bruh, just like a fluffernutter, Les, I'm not going to steer you wrong.
Welcome to Think About It with your host, Jayden Miller.
Manspace Nation, welcome for the first time to the show, Jayden Miller.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Us and Les, it's great to be with you guys. Thank you for having me on.
We greatly appreciate you being on.
It is our pleasure. Now, we definitely got to ask you the most important question. Have you tried a fluffernutter?
I have not as of yet.
He gonna send you the recipe after the show.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm always open though.
See, I try to tell you, he got me like that too, man. I don't know how we've been friends this long, and then he threw this thing out on me. Have you ever had this? I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, then I'm in the grocery store that evening. I'm buying fresh bread and marshmallow fluff and peanut butter.
Right.
Got me toasting it with butter and all this stuff. I'm like, man, that's why I don't talk to him no more about it.
I see.
He just does me dirty completely.
I know the whole cookie thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised he didn't take a picture of it.
Oh, I got pictures.
Send it to. I know you do.
I got pictures. I just hadn't sent it yet.
Yeah, see, there we go. I knew it was coming. I knew it. Hey, Les, you ever seen these before?
Matter of fact, while we're talking, no.
Don't you better not. You better not. Don't you do it.
But welcome to the show, Jayden. It's a pleasure to actually have you on the show. We've been kind of trading messages back and forth for a few months now, and I really, really enjoyed listening to your show. But we want to give the Manspace Nation a chance to really get to know you. So we're going to play a game called Lightning Round. And so that's where we're going to give you some questions. You're just going to say the first thing that comes to your mind. You're going to get 60 seconds. You're going to hear some music in the background. And when that music ends, then your 60 seconds are up.
All right.
So Les, you about ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Jayden, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Where's the music? Give it to me. That sounds like some techno right there.
Hey, he is killing the time. I'm like, oh, my bad. Do we need to start this over? Let me start this over.
Start it over, man.
You just killed the time. All right, you ready? Hold on.
Hey,
wait.
wait.
We're going to get it ready here. We're getting it warmed up.
Go. Texting or talking?
Talking.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Favorite city in U.S. besides the one you live in?
Chicago.
Last song you downloaded?
The OJs.
Illegal.
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 10. How good are you at keeping secret?
10.
You just told somebody you downloaded music. Anyway, first celebrity crush.
Halle Berry.
Place you most want to travel.
Hawaii.
Favorite junk food? Cookies.
Potato chips.
Potato chips. All right. Favorite childhood TV show?
The Brady Bunch.
All right. Favorite podcast besides your own that you like to listen to?
The Manspace Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Cake or pie, baby.
Of course.
Which one you like, cake or pie?
Oh, cake.
Cake. Godfather or Star Wars?
Godfather.
Favorite sports franchise?
Chicago Cubs.
Oh, the Cubs. I knew he was going to say the Bulls. But ding, 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 ding. All
right. You know, I've never seen The Godfather.
What?
Yeah. I've never seen The Godfather.
Wow.
Hey, man.
That's a good show. It's a good movie.
It is. It's a pretty good movie.
Yes.
It's a pretty good movie. Yeah.
Maybe one weekend when you're not busy, just take some time to, get the videos and watch them. Man, it's great. It really is.
Hey, how many Godfathers is it? Is it
It's three.
It's three.
Three.
Three Godfathers.
Three.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But check this out, Russ. I've never seen Star Wars.
Oh my.
No.
Okay then.
So there you go.
Oh, okay. That just hurt me.
You just threw him off the train with that one.
I mean, I'm sitting there with a lightsaber in the background.
No. You just threw him off the bus.
Oh.
He don't know how to react now.
No, I'm going on mute for a little bit.
Sorry.
His whole little feelings are hurt right now.
So I'm going to share this story real quick before we really jump back in, right? So my wife, like you, had never seen Star Wars. Mm-hmm. This is when they were about to start coming back out with the new versions, right? Episodes, 7, 8, and 9, right? I got my daughter into it, and she was excited. So we're going to go see the new movies together, right?
Yeah.
My wife was kind of upset that she wasn't being included in this.
Uh-oh.
This was like a daddy-daughter thing. So when we've gone to the movies with her before, she falls asleep before the credits are even over. She's asleep. So I'm like, why waste the money? Mm-hmm. She doesn't know Star Wars. We're going to go and enjoy the movie. So I'm like, all right. I went and bought the whole Blu-ray set. I'm like, episodes 1, 2, and 3, you don't have to see because it has nothing to do with this movie, right?
Yeah, right.
We'll just watch the originals, right? Episodes 4, 5, and 6. So those are the first 3 movies that came out back in the 70s and early 80s, episodes 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to watch those, right? She fell asleep on episode 4. She fell asleep on episode 5. She fell asleep on episode 6. So then she says, well, how does he become Darth Vader? I'm like, well, that's back in episode 3. Yeah. So we're going to go back to episode 3. She fell asleep. So now the movie is out. And my daughter and I were excited to go see it, but my wife has to work that weekend.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, she's going to be mad if we go see this movie without her. My daughter's like, she'll never know. We can just go watch it, and then we can watch it again with her later. Okay, sounds logical to me. So my daughter and I, we go see the movie while she's at work. I text my wife, hey, hanging out with Trent. We go to the movie. We go see it, loved it, came back. We're just all excited, right? Well, my daughter's going somewhere else. So I'm going to go drop her off somewhere else. I come back home. Wife's at home. Yeah. So what you do today? I'm like, okay, I can tell by her. I can tell by her tone. She knows. Uh-huh. So I can't even Trent and I we went to go see Star Wars. Right? I'm just going to go ahead and fess up. After all that you put me through. My daughter had left the ticket on the table. As soon as she walked through the front door, the ticket is right there. Oh, wow.
And
straight busted.
Sis don't miss nothing.
She don't miss nothing.
She don't miss nothing.
You move a pillow. Oh, did you move that pillow?
That's right. You know it. You know it. You already know it.
Oh man!
But I'm gonna go see I'm gonna go see it though. I'm gonna rent it. I'm gonna rent it, and then I'm gonna let you know that I saw it.
All right,
we're gonna ask you a bunch of questions. So
okay. But I need you to go. I need you to watch The Godfather though. Okay.
All right.
I didn't seen it.
So let me ask you this. So I've always heard The Godfather 3 was like one of the worst movies. So you don't have to see that one.
Yeah. I can see that.
No, you gotta
one
watch
and two
it
are the
to
best.
understand. You gotta watch it.
Well, you do.
It's not that great, but it finishes it off.
Less is right.
Okay.
Less is right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right.
I just watched something. I can't remember the name of it, but it was about a young Tony Soprano yesterday. Mm-hmm. There's a new movie that came out, and it was about his family, the Sopranos, early Sopranos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, there's like meet Tony Soprano.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay, that's how he became who he is.
Okay. Yeah. So I really wasn't a big fan of that show either. I watched parts here and there, but I just never kept up with the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm just not a series guy. You know that. Everybody that listens to this, I say it all the time. I'm not a series guy because I can't wait to Tuesday next week. Tune in next week, Tuesday, for another 45 minutes. No, I'm not doing that.
Right.
You got to binge watch them. You got to binge watch
That's
them.
it. That's it.
There you go.
That's what I'm doing right now. And I know it's an old show. I was telling some other friends of mine, they were like, what you doing? You know, we always get together and talk about what books we're reading, what series, and things like that. And I said, well, I'm watching Sons of Anarchy. And they were like, oh, you got a good series. It's a long one. And I was like, yeah, I know. You know, then they started talking about it. I was like, yo, look, hey, I'm in a room. Hey, I ain't seen it all yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Spoiler alert.
Wait to season 2. You can't wait to see Happy coming in. And I'm like, dog, come on, man, for real. I'm gonna tell jokes about your mama if you keep going.
Try to redirect the conversation a little bit.
We gotta change this whole thing. Yeah, we gotta move it along now.
Yeah.
So, Jayden.
Yeah.
Now, you went from law enforcement to education. Were you doing a little bit of that early on with the education? And how did you make that transition from one to the other?
Well, yeah. So I started my career with the Chicago Police Department. That was the bulk of my policing career, was with the Chicago Police Department. And while I was a member of the Chicago Police Department, I also taught at local colleges there. After I left the Chicago Police Department, I became a police chief in Wisconsin and Colorado. And then I taught at the university level those locations. And so I taught criminal justice courses. My favorite class to teach was criminal investigations. And so the students really loved it because I would create these semi-real life crime scenes, you know, and there would be fake blood and we draw the chalk lines and we have fake bullets. And so they had to go and actually try to solve the case. And so that's what really made it interesting for them. So yes, I was a college professor and in law enforcement simultaneously.
Nice.
Awesome. Man.
Nice.
Wish I had a teacher like that. I probably would have did better in school.
Man.
Well, you know,
I
find that, you know, especially with younger people nowadays, that class has to be more interactive. You know, you can't, like in the old days, stand in the front at the lectern and just talk at them because they get bored real easily. You know, they want to get back to, you know, what's on their, you know, cell phone and that kind of thing. So you've got to find the way to keep their interest. That's the challenge that I have also teaching and now being an assistant principal at the secondary level, whether it be high school, and now I teach at the junior high. And so we've got to keep students engaged. And the only way you can do that is by really making it interactive and getting them involved in what's going on. And so law enforcement, education at the same time. After I retired from law enforcement, I actually became a full-time photographer in Dallas. And so I managed photography studios there. Actually, I managed one photography studio that was named the best photography studio in East Texas. And so photography is something that I've always loved as a child. So Russ and Les, what I did was, after I retired, what am I going to do? Okay. So, you know, interspersed between that, I actually own some cellular phone stores in Chicago. So before I go on, let me just say, I'm one of those kind of people that feel as though you don't have to just do one thing in life. You know, you can do multiple things, you know. So law enforcement, teach. I owned, some cell phone stores for about 5 or 6 years, photography. And then I went to Mississippi and my life was changed. So I went to Mississippi after I was managed those photography studios because my family is from there. And I just needed a change, you know. So I want you all to imagine working the streets of Chicago, Okay.
Yeah.
One of the toughest cities around, you know, and as an African American man, what am I doing most of the time? Not my fault, of course, but I'm arresting black young men.
Yes.
Okay. And so, you know, Russ and Les, what can I do to make up for all those people that I had to send to jail or prison? Again, because of faults of their own, but then also we have to look at what happened to them in terms of the environment, society,
Right.
and other factors as well. So, okay, the question now is, okay, you're now retired from that. What can you do to help young men on another end? Okay. And that is educate them. Okay. So be a role model to them. So now instead of always disciplining young men, sometimes all we got to do is put our arm around their shoulder and say, listen, you know, we need to do something different. A lot of them didn't have strong male figures in their lives. And so now here you have one that has had a wealth of different types of experiences that can show them that there are more than one way to, you know, to live life. And it doesn't have to be the avenue to prison or the avenue to a graveyard, but it can be an avenue to success and having a great family. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Man, that's awesome to hear. And I know since you've had so many different things in your arms around so many different things, what would you find was more rewarding and why? Why was it the most rewarding thing for you?
So when I went to Mississippi, I taught kindergarten. Now, when I tell people that, they get shocked. Like, wait a minute, you used to be what? And I said, yeah, I used to be a police officer in the city of Chicago. Absolutely tough city. Well, now I'm in Mississippi at a K through 1 school. And I am teaching kindergartens, 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, how to read, how to write. And so to answer your question, the most rewarding thing out of everything I've done is watching now in May, 5-year-olds that can put a sentence together, 5-year-olds that can count, you know, and can add and subtract smaller numbers, of course, but now they can do those things they couldn't do back in August when they first came to school. And so now as I look back through Facebook or still keep in touch with some of their parents, now a few years later, they're now in 3rd grade. Okay. Yeah. And so now I'm seeing the progression of them, you know, and saying, wow, you know, look at where they were in kindergarten and now look at them in 3rd grade. And so they're on a fine path, a good path. My hope is that, you know, as police officers, we won't have to send so many of us, you know, to jail or to prison or having a criminal record, which we know limits us, you know.
Absolutely.
And that really education, you know, is a good path for them. It's a way for them to attain the things that I think we want in life. We want good families. We want to be able to have good jobs or to create jobs for ourselves, you know. And so that's the pathway to do it. That doesn't mean that you have to go to college, but what it means is you need those fundamentals and those basics, you know, to get you to a level where you need to be so that if you decide that the tech world is where you want to go, that's fine. Or if it's the hospitality world, or if you want to stay at home and become a millionaire doing YouTube videos, well, still you still need those fundamental educational basics.
Absolutely. Man, that was a lot that was said in that. But, you know, how did you take all of that and put it to doing your show? You think about it with Jayden Miller. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, you know, I like to talk, as you can probably tell, and I taught 10th grade or sophomore high schoolers American government and economics, and you know, I keep in touch with my old students, and what I've believed that I have is this uncanny ability to connect with them, and that connection, you know, is what, you know, attracts, you know, being able to be funny, you know, being able to tie in, you know, the things that I've learned on the streets and apply them to what's happening in government. Those things are important. And so I thought that, you know, why not have a podcast where I can share the things that I like to talk about and then maybe still educate people in some form or way. And so I do it, you know, from the vantage point of, well, I've been a police officer. So if we're talking about the Fifth Amendment, if we're talking about whether or not police have to read you your Miranda rights, or, you know, do you have to let the police into your car or let them into your house? Well, hey, I can tell you from two vantage points. I can tell you from the law enforcement side, and I can tell you as a black man whether or not you should talk to the police or not, you know?
Right.
And so I like to share those different things in my podcast. And so that was the catalyst. You know, I wanted to be able to give people really, really good information from someone who's been there.
Awesome. So in your most recent, you kind of touched on it a little bit just a few seconds ago, but in your most recent podcast, you mentioned you found your niche in the government and the economics. You know, what's the process that you took to narrow those just down to that? Because you have a lot of different skills, it seems like, and to have these skills, you got to love certain things. So how did you narrow it down just to right there where you are right now?
Well, thank you. Good question. I love photography, but, you know, I didn't think doing a podcast, which I really don't do a lot of video on. I do some, but now I've kind of just done a podcast where people can just hear me. I think I need some more visuals to do. So I wasn't prepared for that. When I first started my podcast, I would talk about a wide range of different topics. And then my wife told me, well, you know, the most popular podcasts tend to have a niche, you know? Yes. And so, you know, I had to think about that because one week, you know, I might talk about, you know, your mama jokes. And then another week, you know, I'm talking about.
That's us.
Right. And then the next week, you know, I'm talking about, you know, the Supreme Court justice and whether or not, you know, she will be confirmed. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe that's too broad and maybe I need to specify it. And so one thing that I do know and that I believe that I'm an expert on is I can talk about government and economics. Okay.
Right.
And so I decided that I want to really, really focus on those individuals that want to know the law, but not from some legalistic standpoint from some lawyer, but somebody that has worked the streets, okay? But then someone who's been on the other side to say, okay, listen, just because the police knock on your door don't mean that you need to open it, okay? What you need to do is you need to back up for a minute and think about this, okay? What are you doing when you opening the door? You're giving them consent, okay? Well, do you really want to give the police consent? And I want people to know that always that, you know what, the Fifth Amendment says that you have a right to remain silent. Then exercise it. Don't talk, especially if you know you've done something that's questionable. I'm not saying you've done something wrong, but the police may seem to be questionable. Then what you need to do is you need to not say anything, you know, and what I do is I go over the Miranda ruling and I tell, you know, people that the Miranda ruling came out of this existence that, hey, you know what? There was a guy that talked to the police when he didn't have to under some coercion. And so now the Supreme Court says that, listen, you have a right to shut up. So do it, exercise it. That was given to you by the founding fathers. Then you know what? Maybe you should do that because anything you say can and will be used against you. To me, Russ and Les, that's a hint and a half, okay?
Yes,
so if I, as the
absolutely.
police, tell you that, hey, listen, you can talk to me, it's okay. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. That means that, you know, well, maybe I need to have someone else that has more of a legal background than I do to speak for me.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned the Supreme Court. So in one of your most recent episodes, you broke down the Dred Scott decision. Now, for those that don't know, the Dred Scott decision was a U.S. Supreme Court ruling back in 1857 that basically said that a Black person was not a citizen, could not be a citizen of the United States. It basically took away this man's freedom from where he was in a free state and basically put him back into slavery and said that he could never be a citizen.
Right.
Now, we just had the historic announcement of Ketanji Brown Jackson being the first African-American woman being confirmed to the Supreme Court. How do you think that is going to impact America going forward?
You know, it's really, really historic. And I'm really glad to see that we had this specific time in history to make that happen. I mean, just think about it. If, you know, Joseph Biden wouldn't have had 8 million more votes than Donald Trump, then Ketanji Brown Jackson wouldn't be on the Supreme Court, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, the fact that, Joe Biden made a promise, back when he was floundering during the Democratic portion of the election, before the general election. And he said, well, hey, if I'm elected, I'm going to nominate an African-American person to the Supreme Court, an African-American woman to the Supreme Court. Had he not said those things, then we may not be in this place. So just to lay the groundwork, women, especially black women, have been the backbone of this country, along with black men, but yet they have not been recognized for all of the great things that they've done to the degree that they should, So we talk about Harriet Tubman, and she did some wonderful things. She did, but we're pressed to talk about very, very many more African-American women that were in the forefront, okay? Of course, there are some. We can talk about Coretta Scott King, but Coretta Scott King was really, working while her husband was out in the forefront, We could talk about Betty Shabazz, but Betty Shabazz was taking care of her children while Malcolm X was out in the forefront, We can talk about Rosa Parks, and Rosa Parks did a phenomenal thing in what she did. But after she did that, she kind of took a back, and let the others go forward and really take the reins, So we have these phenomenal black women that have done these things, but we're pressed to really talk about more than them. Well, now we have this exciting opportunity to talk about this black woman that is overqualified. Okay. She's not just qualified. She's overqualified. She's done so many different things, and she has prepared herself for this role. She's going to be fair. She's going to be objective. And I really, really, really am really just despondent at how she was treated during the confirmation hearing.
I agree.
And the day that they voted, that is just no way. And so when African-American women say that, when the world looks at us, we're always last. Well, there it is, right in front for us. Okay. Now, when Barrett was being confirmed to the Senate, when Donald Trump nominated her, the Democrats didn't act that way towards her. Yes, they did. Many of them didn't vote for her, but they didn't just leave the chamber and be disrespectful. Okay. But this was on display, Russ and Les, for the country to see, how they treated this woman. And I think that's so unfortunate. She is going to do an exceptional job on the Supreme Court. She's going to rule favorably, but she's going to rule in an unbiased fashion, just like their role should be.
Yeah. And, I was in tune to this as well, how these senators from these states that supposedly represent the people in those states acted. I mean, Lindsey Graham. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I want to give a shout out to, if any of our listeners know Cory Booker, I want to say thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having that sister's back.
Yes.
Thank you. Because there were so many people that had the opportunity to have her back and didn't. But this man stood up. He stood up and he did what we all do silently. And they say, oh, we don't protect our women. We do. We do protect our women. We do stand out front.
Right.
The problem is that we don't have enough backbone with our communities to help us stand up.
Absolutely.
We do it, but it doesn't have to be walking on the stage with a slap.
Oh, absolutely.
I knew somebody was going to bring that one up.
I was eventually, but I'm trying to be respectful here.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it this time, y'all. Normally, that's my role. So did y'all hit my man? It's all good. But I really believe that. I hope that Judge Jackson does what she's supposed to do.
Yes.
And I don't see any reason for her not to.
Absolutely.
I hope she does what she's supposed to do, and I hope she inspires 100 million little girls,
absolutely,
and boys to want to do the same thing. Because wanting to be a basketball player and wanting to be a football player, those things are kind of played out, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to aspire for higher things. We need to want to do more things.
Absolutely.
So
Yep. Even if you want to be an entrepreneur, even if you want to own your own store or business in your own community or out of your house, that's not bad. That's a great thing.
Yeah. So my grandson is a budding little entrepreneur. He found these little rubber band bracelets.
Yeah.
And he's making these bracelets out of rubber bands. So he calls me up, right? He says, Papa, look. And he shows me his little bracelet. Mm-hmm. I said, perfect. I said, what you got going on? He's like, I'm gonna sell these at school. I said, okay. I said, you gonna sell them at school? Yes, yeah, Papa, I'm gonna sell them at school. I was like, perfect. I was like, now, are you gonna get in trouble? Do you have to ask somebody to sell? He's like, we're gonna do it in the bathroom. I said, hold on, bro. Hold on, you going about it the wrong way. Already. Let's try to pull you back. Let's try to pull you back a little bit. Let's call a legal piece of it. You know what I mean? I understand cornering the market. You ain't got that muscle yet, brother, but we gonna make sure it's okay for you to do this. You need to talk to your teachers, have your mom, make sure that it's okay for you to hustle in the hallways of the school.
Right.
Yeah. I said, well, I'll buy 3 of them.
Well, that's great. And you're right, Les. That's the way to go about it. We want people to do things the right way, but you can still do your thing. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because, Russ hustles cookies out the backseat of his truck.
Brother, trust me, those cookies were not getting sold.
What was that famous rapper? Oh, Slick Rick. At the end of one of his songs, he goes, crumbs. And that's exactly That's it. Your t-shirt's coming, brother. It's going to say crumbs.
Crumbs. That's it. So we have a little bit of a game show. Yeah. Now, we like to do this with our guest. I like to match them up against the one and only Les. Now, Les is 1-1 right now, but he's on a winning streak.
Okay.
He's on a winning streak.
I'm going to say that first round was trash. That's all I'm going to say. It was against your boy.
We're going to have you compete in a friendly game, best 3 out of 5 in higher or lower.
Okay.
So contestants will be asked a survey question of 100 people, and the contestant will have to guess how many people actually did the question.
More people or less. Yeah. Okay. But see, this guy's an educator. So this right here, this guy's an educator.
So you might have met your match, Les.
He better beat me. He better beat me. I just barely got out of high school. They kicked me out. They ain't let me graduate. They put me out. It was like, look, bruh, you've been here too long. You know what I'm saying? Here's your diploma. Beat it.
Right.
So, you guys ready?
Yes.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So, question 1 always goes to the guest. And for this question, we asked 100 New York Yankee fans. In exchange for $20,000, would you root for the Boston Red Sox for 1 year? How many Yankee fans said that they would take the money and root for the Red Sox for 1 year? 100 Yankee fans, how many would root for the Red Sox for $20,000?
60.
Got to be less than that, brother. Got to be less than that. Hey, they die hard over there in New York, man.
Less. Oh, no.
Yeah.
My sound effect didn't work. Yeah. My sound effect didn't work. Hold up.
I'm thinking about busting it up.
There we go.
I knew it was a bunch of BS. I knew it. When he couldn't get it to work.
63.
Stop it.
Yes. These people are
educator. I'm just, you got quick fingers too. I bet you type about 70 words a second. I bet you do. So as he was doing that, he got that silent little Chromebook going. His little fingers, he's over there doing the duck thing. His fingers doing like this. All right, go. Let's go. All right. Next.
1-0 to Jayden. All right. Next question goes to Les. We asked 100 first grade children. See, we already started wrong. We've already established that Jayden's a baseball fan and an educator. So question two, going to the school children.
1 year old.
We asked 100 first grade children, do school teachers make a lot of money? How many first grade children said yes?
80 of them.
Lower. What?
No,
They ain't got no concept of money. They think about candy.
Les,
What?
you were wrong. Jayden was right.
What? Oh!
58. 58.
I'm getting off this roller coaster. This sucks.
2-0, Jayden.
I'm down
All
2.
right.
All right.
You ain't gonna dust me.
You
bro.
can
I
make
ain't gonna let you
history
dust me.
on the show right now, Jayden,
I'm
with
trying
a clean
to.
sweep.
All right.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And you look, what?
You might be able to hang in this one. Okay, here we go. We asked 100 delivery people, have you ever made a delivery to a customer who was completely nude? How many said they had?
20.
50.
You going higher, Les?
I said 50.
The game is higher or lower.
It's higher. Well, he said 20. I said 50.
Right.
So I mean,
All right.
I mean,
You
we go.
You answer higher or lower. Play the game, Les.
see, here we go. This is his way of saying higher. Go ahead, higher. Oh, okay. There we go. Finally.
Not by much,
Yeah.
but 37.
Woo!
See, so we go from baseball to education to breaking the law.
I know about breaking the
37.
law.
so Les, it's now 2-1.
Let's even this thing up.
All right. We're back to law enforcement.
I'm going 30% right now. Off the
All
rip.
right.
At 30, whatever it is. That's how confident I feel.
You better think on this one.
All right,
All right,
wait.
Les.
Come on, let's
All
do
right.
it. Let's do it. Yeah.
We asked 100 prison inmates,
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay.
are you innocent of the crime you were convicted of?
Oh, yeah.
How many inmates claimed they were innocent?
Everybody innocent, bro. But I'm gonna say 90%.
Higher.
Ooh.
Hey, he got. Yeah. Wait, who is that for? Who is that for? Me or him this time?
Jayden, you were wrong on that one.
Uh-oh.
The answer is 65. It is now
Ooh.
2-2.
Uh-oh.
Sudden death.
Uh-oh.
Final question. And the question goes to Jayden.
Man, it's a bunch of
It's
horse
2-2.
manure. Go ahead.
We asked 100 people, if you were locked out of your home, would you know how to get back in without breaking a window? How many said that they could?
40.
How many could get back in their house without breaking a window?
I'm going to say 40.
Less, higher or lower than 40?
Man, this is such a this some BS right here, man. This is a setup. I'm gonna say higher, bro.
And for the win, it is less. You
All right, Les.
I smoked
Pulled it
That's
out.
what I'm talking about. I smoked them. Yeah.
56%. And Les continues his streak in the good side.
All right.
Man.
Good one, Les. No hard feelings, bro.
Hey, it's all good, bro. I almost went lower though.
And Les, you know what you win?
Nothing.
That's right. Absolutely nothing.
I win the air.
The crumbs from those cookies.
That's it.
Hey, I don't want them now. They've been under the seat. I don't want them. I want the fresh crumbs. You know?
I should go downstairs and get one and just eat them in front of you.
That's okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna call your wife. Yeah, I'm gonna call your wife, and she's gonna stab you. I don't, ladies and gentlemen, I don't promote domestic violence. but Russ needed. Russ need to get himself back in line. He gotta remember who you dealing with.
Oh man, Jayden, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We definitely got to have you back on again and have some more discussions with you, because I know there's a lot more, because we just scratched the surface and there's so much more that we can really talk about with you. We want to tell the ManSpace Nation how they can actually follow you and follow your show.
Well, yeah, there's always my website. It's www.jaydenmiller.com. You can listen there. You can check out some of my photography. You can learn more about me there, of course. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's Mr. Jayden Miller. You can check out some of my photography, but you can also find my podcast there as well. But as you all are, and again, I'm really inspired by you guys. You guys do a great job, but I'm on all of the different podcast platforms as well, Apple and Google and Spotify and all the rest of them. So again, please feel free to listen. I love Russ and Les, guys, and it's been a pleasure promoting them on my show as well. And so thank you guys for the opportunity to join you. And hopefully I can have you guys on my show and we can talk about some issues as well. But
yes,
I'd love to come back. I would love to come back. This has really been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
As we do each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. So this morning, this thought kind of ran through my mind, and I had different people asking me to do different things and saying, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And I kept coming back and just thinking like, well, I'll get to it. I'll do it. But this thought hit me and it said, what are you waiting for? See, so many times we make excuses for why we should do it, or we'll get to it, and we procrastinate and we hold on. But really, what are you waiting for? See, the only difference between a billionaire and you today is that the billionaire just started before you did. So there's no time like the present to get out of your own way and start today. ManSpace Nation, ask yourself, what are you waiting for?
And that reminds me of a song. Wake up, everybody. Ain't no more sleeping in bed.
Well, I hit a good one when I got less singing, boy.
What you waiting on? What you waiting on?
There
we talk about this all the time. Just get up. You got to start doing something. The only thing a rich man has over you is time.
That's it.
Just time. You control your time. Instead of watching TV, you read a book.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing these illicit activities, do something constructive. Come on, baby. Oh man, that just, like I said, man, wake up.
And speaking of books, as we close out, Mrs. Russ just released another new book.
Nice.
This one is entitled, I Divorced My Money and Married My Mindset.
Oh.
It can be found on Amazon and the manspacepodcast.com.
Oh, my God. Say that title one more time.
I divorced my money and married my mindset.
Wow. See, that's going to go over some people's head, man.
Mm-hmm. It will. It's
okay, though. You can recover. Mm-hmm. Back up and open up your arms and let it hit you in it.
There you go. There you go. But check that out, Amazon.com and often the manspacepodcast.com. And on that note,
we out of here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The ManSpace.
Whichever platform you listen to us on, make sure you subscribe and don't miss a show.
Remember to keep up with all the ManSpace updates on our website, themanspacepodcast.com.
And you can follow us on Instagram at ManSpaceNat1.
Until next time, ManSpace Nation, He's Les. I am Russ. And we are out of here.
Give me the cookies.